Active Investor here, bringing you another independent analysis. This time we're taking a look at ticker symbol F. That's Ford Motors. The chart we're looking at today is a one-day chart. Each candlestick on this chart representing 1 day of trading. So we go back many months, almost to the beginning of the year. Go back all the way to right around the middle of February. But really we want to take a look at this candle here, indicating the major selling off we had from 1340 all the way down to about 1252. Ford being down 6.57% on the day. And look at all of that volume. Major unloading done today following the rest of the markets due to the volatility and fear from the Brexit news. So I have some good support and resistance levels up here. We call those pivot points. So I'll give you guys a few seconds to take a look at those resistance and support. Alright, so on the way up, talk about that resistance real quick. We got 1297, 1310, 1335, 1357, and 1370. On the way down for support, we have 1250, 1220, 1180, and 1145. That's going to be our levels of support. Those are our levels of resistance. Now, the reason we're looking at the one-day chart is because looking at Ford on the lower time frames is really just not easy on the eyes. It swings quite a lot relative to such a high cap. You know, it doesn't have such a high float. It has a very high float, and for a high float stock, it actually swings a lot during the day. So look at those lower frames. It's actually not too sightly due to all the candle volatility, and though it doesn't swing that wild, it keeps a fairly tight range like any large cap and high float stock would do. It still is relatively volatile in those channels. So that's why we're taking a look at the one-day chart. It makes these pivot points much more clearly defined. So since we're focusing on support, let's take a look at if it looks like we're going to keep legging down or if we're going to bounce. So the relative strength index isn't looking awful, I'll be honest, so that's good. Why am I saying that? Well, because the fast average, that green line here on the RSI down here at the bottom, is in the oversold area. But that slow average is still about halfway in what I call no man's land. It's not oversold yet. Let's take a look at what happens when we are oversold. I'm going to draw a line in this whole oversold area. You can see when we were oversold there, that's when we had some selling off all the way from about 1350 all the way down to about 13. See if there's another area we can take a look at. We were oversold here, but we weren't really overbought, so this is not really going to give us the best idea. But once again, you can see that's when we were selling off. The whole time we were oversold. So the fact that we're not entirely oversold yet indicates that two things can happen. We can start bouncing or we can keep selling off. But if we were going to keep selling off, we would need to be oversold entirely. That red line would need to be under the 20 line. So the fact that we had this major selling off today, but our RSI didn't go oversold entirely, means that there is a chance that we start bouncing. And especially because we are on this support level and we didn't close under it. We closed right on the support, right at $12.50. To be more specific, we closed at $12.52. So the fact that we're right on support and we're not entirely oversold tells me that there is a decent chance that that support will hold. And all that volume there too, I'll be surprised if there's that much volume on Monday, that much bearish pressure on Monday. So I think there's a fair chance that Ford holds the 1250 support, and maybe it just kind of, channels above it, or maybe it kind of slightly dips below, just kind of channels right here around 1250, or we might just see it kind of slowly work its way up to the $13 area. Now, if it does break to the downside, then we're looking next at $12.20. So let's see what percentage that would be of a decrease. All right, it's 1250 to 1220. You're looking at a 2.4% decrease. So in my opinion, I don't really see it breaking that support if it does sell off anymore. I mean, look at all the volume it took to bring this thing down to this support level. And though, yeah, we did break we did break two support levels. We did bounce off here. Not quite bounce off, but we didn't break it. So it's going to take a lot of volume to break this support level. So, I think worst case scenario, if we sell off on Monday, is maybe we go down another 2.5% or so. Definitely not. I definitely don't see this thing going down another 6% or anything really close to that, unless there's some more crazy news that comes out or something. But if everything stays the same for now on a technical level, I think the support's pretty strong here. So that's what we're looking at. Not much else to say about Ford right now. The averages clearly bearish. We got the 50, then the 20, and then the 13. So the slow average being higher than our faster averages, indicating that the price 50 periods ago was indeed higher than where we're currently trading now. So that's bearish, but the RSI isn't looking that terrible, as we already discussed, and the support's holding up nicely, and the volume it took to get here was pretty incredible. So good chance that that support holds. And worst case scenario, we get down to about here, and we fall off another about 2.5%, which would be about less than half the drop that we saw today. So I don't think it's looking too bad. Hope you guys enjoyed this analysis. Any questions or comments, leave some feedback below. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one.